Hey Mo, do you hear that? Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba! Parking Lot Podcast, where dreams go to fly. Okay, welcome to the Parking Lot Podcast. My name is T.
And I guess I have to admit that my name is Mo.
And welcome to the Parking Lot Podcast, where we talk about comics, movies, TV shows, and everything in between. And I guarantee you, there's going to be 50% less ums and likes on this episode today.
Well, I
So,
hope there's more likes,
oh
if you know
yeah,
what I
I
mean.
hope there's more likes because our last episode has gotten around 38 views. Probably half of them were me rechecking to see how many views I got, but so far I
No
got a
worries, no
few.
worries.
Yeah,
T, views ain't nothing but a number.
yo man, the more views, the happier T gets. Okay, so a lot of people have been like asking, why is it called the parking lot? Why is it called the parking lot, Mo?
Oh, you're going to throw that on me. All
Oh
right.
yes.
It's called the Parking Lot Podcast because, uh, first of all, you and I met in a parking lot.
Oh,
It's the first
the
time we
greatest,
met.
great place to meet a person, right?
It's a great place to start a friendship. But it wasn't for any shady reason. After we watched two separate movies, we ran into each other outside because they had closed down the theater. And they're like, everyone, please leave. We want to go home. So all of the conversations we were having about the movies we were watching had to spill over into the parking lot. So that's what this is. They won't let us loiter in the theater after the movie's done. So we gotta chat in the parking lot.
Oh yeah, and it's the best place. You get varying emotions, you get varying weather, and it's really cold, so you need to talk more so that you can keep yourself warm and have some good company, right?
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, so what are we gonna talk about today, Mo?
We're gonna talk about the Black Panther.
Oh, the blackest of Panthers. Oh yes. So it's very hot right now, and all the reviews have been very positive for the movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like so many people have watched it, and it has outsold like what Avatar, and it's doing
Oh no,
really
it
well
didn't. It
right
did
now.
not outsell Avatar.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure it
Avatar
did.
made over $2.5 billion.
Oh, that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
Well,
Avatar is the number one movie. This made 1.2, which
what?
is amazing. But Avatar is still number one. Titanic is still number two, and I think Force Awakens is number three.
Oh, hey man, this this might overthrow it. Just give it a couple more weeks, and I believe the Blackest of Panthers might overbeat that.
That is 100% not possible.
Why not? Why don't you think it's gonna beat it?
Well, so this is the sixth week it's out, and it's only made quote unquote 1.2 billion. So that would mean that would have to make another 1.6 billion or something like that. Uh, and it's like movies are very front ended these days, so there's no way that another 1.6 billion dollars worth of people are going to go out and see it in theaters.
Hey, did it get released in China yet? Or
It
India?
did. It
Hey,
did. That's what pushed it over into the $1 billion mark, and now it's 1.2. It got released in China. Yeah.
so let's talk about what we thought about the movie. What did you think about it? Because I liked it, and I know you liked it because the hype was real leading up to this. You posted so many memes with Eddie Murphy in it, and it was like a lot of people kept doing that. Like I would just be like, "Oh, you're so excited for Black Panther," and they're wearing like Eddie Murphy garb, like a nice scarf and a little hat.
Coming to America garb. His movie
Yeah.
Coming to America. Well, it's not. It's not actually. It's not just recently. A year and a half ago, I think, after Civil War came out, and we've got our first look at T'Challa and Black Panther. Twitter went crazy, and everybody was planning a year and a half ago what they would be wearing to the premiere, what kind of food they'd be sneaking in to the theater. Like they were getting super excited. Every announcement, every casting, every single little bit of information, people lost their mind. So there was tons of hype way before, way earlier than most movies.
Yeah. Do you know what movie I'm hyped for?
What movie are you hyped for?
Mulan.
Oh,
Oh,
they delayed that movie.
oh man, I didn't
Yeah,
know
I think
that.
it's coming out a little bit later than they originally planned.
I think it's because they have to find Eddie Murphy as a dragon. You know,
How are they going to replace him? How the hell are they going to replace him?
I don't think they should replace
Kevin
him. I
Hart.
think they
Kevin
just
Hart.
should use that voice.
Kevin
Be-
Hart.
no, he's in everything. You know who's good? Eddie Murphy. You know, Eddie Murphy power. He should be in more movies. I haven't seen him in a lot lately.
No, he's only doing voice work recently.
Yes, voice work. And you know who could voice? Mushu. Okay, so with Black Panther, um, I really liked the movie. It was just very different from some of the other Marvel movies that has just been released this year or last year. For example, Thor Ragnarok.
Mhm.
The villain in Thor Ragnarok is supposed to be this really good villain, overarching everything and really powerful. But it fell short for me. Where
Mm.
in Black Panther, they went into more of why he is the villain. And he wasn't really like a really big villain. He was relatable to the viewer. And that's
Mm.
why I liked him. And he had some really interesting views and action scenes too. What do you think?
What were the cool action scenes? Because I don't think he had too many cool action scenes.
Well, the one where he fights T'Challa is it's a cool scene, and where he fights
The
Gollum.
tribal fight,
Yeah,
like the contest fight.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, that was a sick scene. I like that.
yeah.
So I think that would be my criticism. I actually feel a little bit the opposite of what you're saying. Not that, of course, I really liked it, but I would say Thor Ragnarok is the closest to Black Panther when it comes to structure and subject matter and things like that. It's just wildly different when it comes to quality and payoff and cohesion. But like the story is very similar. Like they're like uh, what I had said before when talking about this is that if Thor Ragnarok was done properly, if it followed through with everything that it tried to set up, it would make Black Panther look really derivative. But because Thor decided not to really explore any of the themes it brought up, Black Panther looks refreshing and looks different. So it was in Black Panther's benefit that Thor decided to go more comedic and more irreverent, right?
yeah.
But and also the action was not that great in Black Panther. It was okay. Like I enjoyed a lot of it. The hand to hand combat was probably my favorite part. But I mean, even a movie that I didn't enjoy as much, like Doctor Strange, had better action.
Well,
I
it
think
was
even
very
Ant Man had better
visual.
action.
It was
Hmm?
very visual in Doctor Strange,
Yes.
and this was visual too. But they had some like the car scene. The car scene to me was very interesting, and the tribal fights. Given there were two tribal fights, and I feel that yeah, you should have one and then move on. You know, I
Oh no,
saw it. It was
I love the fact that they have two trial fights. You thought it was repetitive?
it was repetitive, and you see, the first part was T'Challa, and
Hmm.
then the second half was Killmonger. And
Oh, in the movie.
yeah, and I kind of understand why they did it, but the first part and the second part are kind of like a mirror image of each other, which leads to a different topic too, which I like because it's a deeper meaning.
Okay.
It's That's what I like about that. I
What's
really
what's
like
the
this.
deeper meaning? Tell me, tell me.
Uh, so with T'Challa, T'Challa is in the old ways. He just became a king, and the ways of Wakanda has been already set.
Hmm.
And he wants to change, but he knows what happens if things change from his father and grandfather and down all down the line, right?
Hmm.
So he doesn't change, and his friend wants him to change by bringing in Gollum, right?
Uh, his friend? Like you're talking about Michael B. Jordan?
Uh, Not Michael B. Jordan, the Get
Oh,
Out
oh,
guy.
Wakabi.
Wakabi, yeah.
Get out, get out. Wakabi wants to. Oh, okay. By bring in, you mean like hunt him down? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Hunt, yeah. He wants him to be brought in for
Yes.
justice.
Yes.
But T'Challa doesn't do that, right? And that's kind of like the old mentality where Killmonger is the new mentality. He wants to help people and he wants things to be spread out. He wants Wakanda to be open. But also his ways of things to be open is not right. And that's the differences between the two
Mm.
that I saw. Because Killmonger wants this, where T'Challa wants kind of everything to be the same, but kind of not really, because he wants to move forward, but everything has been already set in stone, and he's living up to an expectation that he has to live up to.
Hmm.
And what do you think? What do you
Oh
think
yeah.
about the two?
I mean, that's what is overtly told us in the story. Absolutely. T'Challa learns that the old ways are not always working. He even when he has the second dream with his father, he even calls out his father and all his ancestors, and he says like he basically says, "You guys were all wrong." Yeah, no, no. I really appreciated that. I really appreciated that, and that's the follow through I was talking about. Um, I guess we should say spoiler alert for this movie, but also spoiler alert a little bit for Thor Ragnarok. So I felt that in Thor Ragnarok, they had set up a similar thing. You have a prince who has to become a king, and his ancestors, specifically their father, his father, is involved with some really shady stuff, and a secret relative appears out of nowhere and challenges the throne. Uh, but in Ragnarok, they kind of just played it kind of for a joke. When Thor meets his sister, he cracks jokes and they don't really have a chance to talk or affect each other. But what I really liked in Black Panther is that when he met Killmonger, Killmonger had a very strong effect on him. They had conversations, they had fights, they had, they were able to compare ideology. Like it really felt that they explored that theme completely, and I thought that's why this movie was pretty special.
Yeah, and I liked how when Killmonger takes over, that's
Mm-hmm.
when you see a little change in Killmonger. Yeah, he wants the future. He wants help for the outside world. But then you see that he wants to really rule, and that's what he wants. He wants people to rule the world. He wants the Wakanda to be this big metropolis, strong power that just destroys the rest of the world. He wants to be king. And I feel at that point that's when things change. And T'Challa changes too, where he comes back and he's like, "Why did you do this? Why?" And then you see at that point that he kind of gave away the old Wakanda way, and he wants to move forward,
Mhm.
and that's great. And so when they meet again as equals, and you said this a little bit in your review, is when they meet, both are kind of on the same level from where they first meet. Um, Killmonger wants the future, and now T'Challa wants the future, but it's varying. Killmonger wants to rule the world, where T'Challa wants to help the world, and I feel that's where Killmonger falls off, and that's
Mm.
his downfall.
Interesting. Actually, I think your interpretation is a little bit different from mine, uh, and that's actually pretty interesting to see.
Yeah,
For me, I really didn't think that Killmonger wanted to help anybody at all, and I didn't think that he wanted to rule. And he did. I don't think he wanted Wakanda to be strong. Wakanda was already strong. It really felt to me that um, he didn't want to help anybody. What he wanted to do was to cause chaos, to basically inflict onto others what he thought were being afflicted onto the weak. Right?
yeah,
He wanted to go against the oppressors, even at the cost of the oppressed, because it wasn't like a strategic plan. It's not like Wakabi. His plan was, let's go clean up the world. So let's go tactically with intelligence and go out there and stop the bad guys and protect the good guys. What Killmonger I felt wanted to do was let's give everybody bazookas. You know, let's basically decentralize the strength and the power and the weapons, and let the oppressed rise up against the oppressors, and it'll be a bloodbath. And that's why there's that scene where he burns down the flower garden, and he's all like, "Let it burn. I'm going to burn it all to the ground." I don't think he was talking about the flower garden. I think he meant the world, including Wakanda. And I really didn't feel like he wanted to rule because it was a means to an end. He didn't really care about being a king. You never see him enjoying it or saying he had plans to rule. As soon as he got in, he's just putting his plan into place, which is just weaponize all of the oppressed people, and then, or sorry, provide weapons to all the oppressed people, and just let them go buck wild. Like, so he's kind of an agent of chaos. He's closer to Joker than he is to someone like, I don't know, Zod or Loki. You know.
yeah. And I
So
do agree.
that's what I really liked about him.
Yeah, it was a interesting, refreshing character too,
Oh yeah,
from the previous villains that they've had. For example, um, Hela from Thor. I,
yeah.
sh- I was expecting something more out of Hela. They gave a little bit of history, but she wasn't as powerful. Well, she was powerful, but I wanted to see more of her and interactions with Thor. Kind of like, oh, I'm gonna destroy all this thing and destroy the world, and you see more havoc, which I hope Thanos is going to be for Infinity War, because with Hela there was huge hype, fell short, and with
Mhm.
Thanos it's a decade worth of hype, continuous hype, 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 and
Mhm.
then if they make Thanos not great, then that's gonna be a huge downer on Infinity War, I feel.
Oh, absolutely. Man, they better kill it with Thanos. Like, The Russo brothers, I think I like their approach to antagonists, like with Winter Soldier, the Winter Soldier himself. I think he was a great antagonist. Um, uh, the Shield guy, Pierce, Donald Pierce, I think, or something Pierce. He was great. Actually, he's a really underrated villain. Like I really like him. Every time he has a scene, especially if it had seen Captain America, or if he had seen with uh, Nick Fury, they were very powerful scenes. Like that guy's a classical actor. Robert Redford, that's his name. No, he was a fantastic performance. And even in Winter in Civil War, when they had Baron Zemo, he didn't have a huge role, but I did enjoy him. He was still very relevant to everything. Like I don't need my villains to always be the most important thing in the scene. Um, but at least they seem to know the importance of having the villains be part of the theme and the main idea of the story. And I heard that Thanos is going to be have the most screen time in the whole of all the characters in the movie, and it's going to be they're going to try to make him somewhat empathetic, which is perfect because in the comic he's very cerebral, he's very philosophical. He's not he's of course cocky and arrogant, but he's not like cackling. He's more like very philosophical. He'll sit and think about things, and he'll change his mind based on uh, rationalizing ideas, right? So it should be really interesting. Like I'm looking forward to the villain in Infinity War.
Yeah. Really actually excited for it because I want to see where they're going to be going with it, and I want to see who they kill
Mm.
because they're going to kill someone. I know it.
Mm.
I know it.
Well, one last thing about the villains. What I found fantastic about Black Panther is that some of the criticism I heard about the movie is that people say, well, Killmonger was right. Like, Black Panther's a jerk. Killmonger was right, and he should have won. Like, they were upset that the villain lost. Like, that's how much they empathize with the villain. That's how much they liked him and found him relatable. And I thought that was amazing. Like, to the point where, like, people are upset that the villain lost.
I
So
think
I think that
that
was
yeah, I think that kind of proves to the actor too of how well they portrayed it and how well that character was written. For example, like Game of Thrones, there was that one character that everyone hates, and if you everyone hates that character, that means that character was done properly. And
yeah, and they don't hate them because they're bad character. They hate them because they're able to evoke that emotion in people.
yeah,
Yeah, no, that should be great. That should be great.
one of my favorite characters in there. I don't know if it's your favorite character, but mine is Shuri. I really liked that character. It just made me laugh whenever she came up. She was just like this young girl that had so much energy, and it was so funny because all the things that she said is what like a, a young person would say right now, and it was hilarious. I'm not
I guess
saying,
so. Her slang was appropriate to about 2 years ago, which is pretty good for movies, actually.
yeah,
Like usually the slang is a lot more dated than that, or
yeah,
the references are a lot more dated than that. But no, Shuri was fantastic. Everyone loves Shuri. She's like in all the she's in a lot of more posters in the Infinity War, and people really really love her.
yeah. She was one of my favorites, and when she's meets her brother, that dynamic between the brother and the sister, I believed
Hmm.
it. Like, oh yeah, they've been brothers their whole life, not just this movie. They've been like that forever. If I watched
Yep,
another movie, they'll probably be like that too, and I like that because
very natural.
yeah, it's very natural. It's not kind of forced or pushed on.
Yeah, all the relationships were very natural, which I really appreciated.
Yeah. So, what did you think about M'Baku?
M'Baku.
Yeah.
M'Baku was great.
It,
He stole every scene he was in. Winston Duke, the actor, he killed it.
yeah, I love that. It's like, oh, you say another word, I'm gonna feed you to my children. Ha ha ha! I'm vegetarian. I like that scene.
See,
And
look, he's a side character, but he's thematically relevant, right?
yeah,
So he's supposed to show another angle of how messed up the Wakandan traditions are, right?
yeah,
So you have a group of people in Wakanda that are not part of the regular Wakandan civilization, and they have been like outcast for generations and generations, and they're not happy about it. And then when Black Panther gets in trouble, he goes to him, and he's like, please help me. And he's like, now you come to me for help. Like, like, how do you feel? How do you think people feel all around the world when you hear their cries for help and ignore? Now I'm going to ignore your cries of help, right?
yeah,
It's like, man, it really stings for the king of Wakanda to take the medicine that he's been dishing out,
yeah,
and then he, of course, it's got to be uplifting. So he comes back in the end, and that's another potential villain that was taken off the table. Like Black Panther, as far as I know, I don't know a lot about him in the comics, but I know that his villains are Claw, spoiler alert, but Claw dead, Killmonger dead, Wakabi, sorry, not Wakabi, M'Baku. He's now an ally. Shuri, not Shuri. What's Nakia? Nakia is now like a very beloved love interest, so she's not going to turn into an evil person like she did in the comic. So who's he got left for the next movie, right?
well,
he's got to dip into other people's villains or go to like really low ranking Black Panther villains.
yeah. I think they might use Manape, M'Baku, or
No, man, M'Baku. Everyone loves M'Baku.
I think it's. Do you know what they're gonna do? They're going to do kind of like what they did with, what they did with Spider-Man in the first series, where you loved the Goblin, the Hobgoblin. You liked him, and then no, the Green Goblin. You
Okay.
kind of liked him throughout, and then in the end, you're like, well, I kind of don't like him anymore, and it's just a
Are you talking about James
progression
Franco?
of the character. And I feel like they're gonna do the same thing with M'Baku. With
Are you talking about James Franco?
yes, James Franco.
Really? I didn't particularly care about him.
Oh, I thought so, and given I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid, so my
Yeah, I haven't
views are
seen it in
kind
a long
of
time, but
yeah,
he was also kind of like they made him go crazy, right?
yeah,
And that was the reasoning behind it.
yeah,
I don't know. I'd be like, I like M'Baku the way he is. He's so laid back and chill. He's not a bad guy. He's just he just has to do what's best for his people.
yeah.
So they could, but I don't think unless they pulled it off really well, I think it would undo a lot of the goodwill that character built up in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of Ulysses Claw?
Oh, he was hilarious. He was great. Surprised he died.
Yeah, I was shocked too at how Killmonger killed his girlfriend and then shot Claw. I was very shocked. I wasn't
That was great.
expecting that at all. And when I watched in D-box seats, so that even shocked me even more because my chair shook when he shot him. I might have also screamed. No, just joking.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that they showed Killmonger kill his girlfriend
Yeah,
because that moment really drove home that he's not really here to help people, right? He's
yeah,
not
he
a good
doesn't
guy.
care for anyone. Yeah,
Yeah, he's not a good guy, and the people that he says that are with him or he's going to help, and He's willing to kill them just to get to his goal,
Yeah.
right? I really like that. If that scene wasn't there, then I think there'd be even more people that are like, "Hey, is this guy actually a bad guy? Like, why did he deserve to die at the end?" Right?
Yeah.
But
I did not like how he died, though. I did
oh,
not like
okay.
how he
Tell me.
said that one line. You remember?
Yeah.
Like, I really didn't like how he's like, I can save you, I can help you.
Hmm.
And then he just goes out and he says, no. Kind of like, I don't want to spoil that line. Oh, I actually
No, this
spoiled
is
the movie, but
full spoilers. No one should be listening if they haven't seen it. And after 1.2 billion dollars, a lot of people.
yeah, true. So he says this line where I don't want to be a slave. I want to be like my brethren who jumped off the ship. And I was just like, did you really need to say that?
Mm. And you
Like,
thought that
like,
wasn't right?
yeah, it wasn't right for the scene. I just didn't. All the things that he said was fitting, and then when it got to that point, I just didn't like that at all.
Oh, I know a lot of people who really love that line. Like, and I heard a lot of like African Americans really finding that that line was powerful.
It was powerful, but I don't think it was fitting for him to say that though. Like, it's a
Mm.
very powerful line,
Hmm.
but I didn't like you didn't need him to say that at that point.
Mm.
It could have
You
been
know,
said later, but
like
why
oh,
does he have to say that? It's just kind of like a weird point, you know?
but later he's dead.
Well, hey, it's a comic book movie. Everyone comes back.
So he
Look at
comes back
Wakanda
and
healthcare, okay? Wakanda healthcare fixed.
oh
Um,
no.
yeah, I'm gonna say it. It fixed Forrest Whitaker's eye. Okay, it fixed his eye.
That's from that little meme that was going around. Yes, yes. But I heard a lot of people. I heard some people say that same thing as you, that that line was a bit too much. Even I heard someone else tell me personally that they didn't like when he was in the art museum, and instead of keeping it short and saying like she's like he's like, I'm just going to take it, and she's like, excuse me, it's not for sale. When he says, oh, did your people purchase this for a fair price? They wanted him to end that line there, but then he continued and he said, but you guys came in there and took everything that you wanted, et cetera, et cetera. I don't forget the exact line, but he kind of elaborated and made it very unambiguous exactly what he meant, right?
Yeah,
And they're like, no, 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 no. Lines should be very brief, and the implication of what he means is more impactful than just going out and saying it. Yes, maybe I can totally understand that, but man, it takes like these kind of things have never been said in especially big budget Hollywood movies, right?
yeah,
Like he explicitly said that I don't want to die a slave like my ancestors did, right? He explicitly said, no, you guys are a bunch of colonizers and you stole everything that are in these fancy museums, right? Like, I thought it was very powerful, and also very important for people to empathize with him and really agree with him, because it's kind of brave for them to say that in that movie. Like,
yeah.
I'm surprised. Uh, what's his name? I'm surprised Ryan Coogler
Uh,
got away with that.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I do understand. I do understand that it might seem like over like too much exposition,
yeah.
but I liked it a lot.
So, what do you think of Wakanda? Because I believe that the shots of Wakanda where it's this like high tech city, I thought that was really really cool because it's like for me like seeing Tokyo, like seeing an advanced city, and that's what I got from it, and it was just beautiful. The all the shots of Wakanda were very bright, kind of homely, kind of sunny, and I really liked that. And but one thing I was like, this is such an advanced city. Why did it take so long for them to spread out? Because they can do so much. They can help so much people, and their energy source, vibranium, could do so much.
Hmm.
And that kind of leads into the story because why did you guys stay in this little hole and not go out of that hole? And I liked it about how the story incorporated that.
Oh, very much so. Like it really made it a complicated place. You can't just be they're great people doing great things. They're also complicit indirectly with a lot of evil that's going on around the world
Yeah.
um, with their inaction. But by the way, use the word homely, which I just looked up, means a person unattractive in appearance or a place that's simple but cozy and comfortable.
Yeah, it looks cozy, you know? It's a
It doesn't.
cozy area because yes, okay, yes, it's a high tech, but they still raise rhinos and wear carpets. You know,
I
like
don't think rhinos when I think of cozy. But anyway, I'm just being a little pedantic. I don't. I know what you meant. I definitely
yeah,
know what you meant. No, I love Wakanda. Wakanda's great. We didn't get to see enough of it, so I really hope the next film. I'm feeling it's going to be even more international. They're going
yeah.
to be dealing with the rest of the world, but I'd love it if it spent a good chunk of time in Wakanda. Like we didn't get to see the day to day lives of people, so that'd be cool.
Those dances, man, I love those dances. I just kept going around, crossing my arms and doing that shoulder shrug every single time. It's like, oh, did you watch Black Panther? And I'll just look at them, stare at them, bring my arms up into a cross, and do that shoulder shrug.
You did not do that.
I did that to a person, yeah.
I
They're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Do you know that scene in Black Panther?" And they're like, "Yes." And I'm like, "That's what." They're like, "Oh, that's dope."
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna bring in female Black Panther, White Panther, or
White Panther,
yeah, there's White Panther.
like White Panther, but White Panther is not connected to Wakanda, right?
I think White Panther is it was in what was that movie with?
White Panther is a guy.
No,
Uh,
there's a guy, but there's a female version of it too. And I thought it
White
was
Tiger,
Suri that played it.
White Tiger.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, so White Tiger is a Marvel character,
yeah.
but she has nothing to do with Wakanda. I don't believe so.
Because I remember watching Ultimate Spider-Man and it had
It had White
White
Tiger, yeah,
Tiger in it. And I
yeah,
thought that
yeah.
was the same thing because Black Panther did show up in that series.
No, she's a completely different superhero. Um, and has nothing to do with Black Panther. They might bring her in, but they're already going to have White Wolf with Bucky. So I don't know if they'll have White Tiger as well.
Do
I
you
really
want?
doubt they'll have White Tiger. If White Tiger is going to appear anywhere, Marvel, Netflix, if those shows are still going on.
Oh, do you know who would blow my mind if this character shows up in Infinity War? Do you know who that is?
Who?
Danny Rand and
Oh,
his
he's not. He's not.
dragon tattoo chest.
He's not. He's not.
No, I
Why
want.
would you? Why would you be excited to see Danny Rand?
No, I'm not excited at all. When I heard that they're making season two, I don't know. Season one wasn't that great. No, hope season two is better, but
Well, there's only one way to go up, right? So,
yeah, or you can just stay at that level that you made and keep going on that path which I feel if they don't change, that's where they're gonna go.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you did tell me that you were gonna do your Danny Rand Iron Fist cosplay for Comic Con.
Oh, it's gonna come. I just need to find the perfect costume and then work out it maybe a little bit, get that, you know, that chest going, you know. I don't have to prep for it because I don't have chest hair, so I can just paint on that dragon tattoo.
Oh man, we're getting real personal on this podcast.
Oh
Now
yeah.
you're painting people a mental image.
Oh, just think about that. If you can't imagine anyone, just imagine an Asian guy with a dragon tattoo. So, what do
There
you
we go.
think of Black Panther? Of rating out of 4, what would you rate it? And would you want other people to go watch it?
Oh yeah, definitely suggest that anybody go watch this movie. I think that everyone will have a good time. Out of four, I don't know. Three, three
Three.
point five, three. Yeah,
3.5.
three. Yeah. It really depends. Like this movie's not perfect. There's a lot of things that are not perfect, but the good far outweighs the bad,
Yeah.
like by a lot. So, 3.25.
3.25.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say around that too. Like 3.26 just to beat you, but other than that, I really enjoyed the movie, and some people didn't like it, but I really liked it, and I would tell people to go watch this. It was a really good movie.
Absolutely.
Some other good movies that are coming out though.
Are
Deadpool,
there? All
yeah.
right.
Avengers, which is coming next month, so I'm
Oh, I
excited for
can't wait
that.
for that.
Yeah, Pacific Rim.
I can totally wait. I may skip it.
Ah, no man, Rocket Elbow. It's like things that I want in my childhood, you know, and they merged it together. It's like Power Rangers and Godzilla. They put those two together to become this beautiful masterpiece. I hope second one doesn't suck because it's gonna hurt
I
me.
like the first one, but it's not something like it wasn't like an important thing that not forget important. It wasn't like a great movie. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed it. The story was kind of weak sauce, and thought it was real dumb that they had to do the two pilots at the same time. But the fighting was really cool. I like a lot of. There's a lot of characters in that movie that I liked, like actors that I liked, but their characters were not that great.
yeah,
Um, so I think the second one is going to be very much like the first, except that it's treading old ground because I've already seen the first one, and the first
yeah,
one was something more new.
yeah. And
So
it's not with the same director too. So I'm kind of
no, Del
scared
Toro's
for
not
that.
doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's going to be a little different, and I don't know what to think because it looks kind of cheap, you know?
Oh, really? Cheap?
Yeah.
Oh, like the CGI?
Yeah, the CGI when Guillermo del Toro, is that? No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Guillermo.
Guillermo. When he did it, he did all of the set pieces were
Yeah.
real set pieces. He built it.
Oh
Where
wow.
in Pacific Rim Uprising, it just looks kind of fake, you know?
Oh,
So let's see, what other movies are coming out that would interest us? Oh, Ready Player One. Are you gonna go watch that?
skip.
What? It's Steven Spielberg, and every
Whoa, whoa,
single.
whoa, Steven Spielberg. When was the last time a Steven Spielberg movie was any good? I'll tell you. Minority Report. That
I
was the
I'm
last
trying to
time.
think there. What was your favorite?
No, that was the last time. Minority Report. I'm not saying it's my favorite, but it's the last time that he did something that people were like, "Oh, you got to check this out." And that was in 2002. So
Oh wow.
Steven Spielberg's name doesn't mean anything anymore.
And can you imagine? Okay, one thing that is he has so many characters in there. He has like Blizzard characters, technically any character that he worked on is in there too, and just a
Yeah,
lot of
all the
IP.
references, just references. Yeah.
Yeah, which is crazy. He's going to probably pay a lot of money for all that stuff.
Well,
Right?
I don't think it's going to be a bad movie.
Yeah,
Like same thing with Pacific Rim. Like I'm not skipping them because I think they're going to be bad.
yeah,
I'm skipping them because they didn't really interest me to go see them. Right?
yeah,
Both of them, I may see them on Netflix. All right.
yeah,
I probably would check them out. I'd love to just, especially with like friends where you could talk over the movie
yeah,
and point out all the references and like pause and be like, oh, there's that thing in the background, there's that thing. What is that? No, you could talk about it in Ready Player One,
yeah,
but in the theaters, I don't know. I think I'm getting more picky about what I see in theaters.
yeah. Are you gonna watch Tomb Raider?
I want to actually. Tomb Raider looks very interesting. I haven't seen it yet, but it seems interesting. And I played the video game not too long ago, so should be interesting.
I really liked the video game. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna really talk about Tomb Raider um, on this episode because we'll probably
yeah,
next
because you've
episode
already
we'll
seen it.
talk
I
about it.
haven't seen it, but you've seen it.
Yeah. So we'll talk about it later. Um, but I think that's the end of the show, guys. So
Right on.
thank you for listening to the Parking Lot Podcast, and we'll be back for more.
Right on.